Hi dear friends, so welcome back to my channel. I'm Devraj. I'm with new video. So today is 29th 6 2023. I hope you guys are working towards to improve our communication English. Due to some reasons yesterday I have not updated the video. So I really excuse for this for that. And I hope you guys are following the tips which I have given in the previous video. So And let's start the newspaper reading. Before going to start the newspaper reading, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share with your friends so that I can bring the videos related to healthcare, education, and personal interviews, especially in the field of education. So especially about the teachers. So let's start the newspaper reading. Yes, guys, let's welcome back to Aksharadhari. Let's see what's in the front page of the newspaper. Today, newspaper, The Hindu. The many zero FIRs filed in Manipur. Singh Dio is Deputy CM of Chhattisgarh. Sensex Nifty indices surge to all-time high. Manifestly arbitrary and unconstitutional. It's back to square one after 8 year legal battle. Smith Head and Warner in good nick. E-bus driver killed, 25 injured in expressway accident. Surge in food prices shows inflation far from tamed. Prices of rice, wheat, two dollars, sugar, milk, potato, onion, and tomato climb. Consumer Affairs Ministry says seasonal factors are responsible. Government monitoring prices on a daily basis. Karnataka set to give cash in lieu of free rice. Vegetable prices double in 2 weeks. Biofertilizer scheme gets government green light. 300 crore, 3000 crore W West Bengal project to prevent floods in city. Stanley, makers are beautiful. State government World Bank may finalize a 3000 crore action plan for flood mitigation in city. Rebuilding drain network, turning lakes into balancing reservoirs, and taking treated water to fill tanks in water scarce neighboring districts to be prioritized under the project. Despite contracts ending, hearts at bus shelters remain. Truck driver as assistant killed has vehicle overturns. Garnaganuru Toll Plaza to begin functioning from July 1st. Two held for abducting and robbing advocate. Three on the run. Three trees chopped. Dedicated organizations facilitate a smooth process for Qurbani and Bakrid. There are organizations and NGOs across the city that help Muslims perform Qurbani during Bakrid. Almost every Mohalla caters to these services. With the monsoon playing at Trent, vegetable prices soar. Tomato, which was being sold at just 40 to 50 a kg a couple of weeks ago, is now sells at 110 to 120 a kg. Similarly, prices of beans have gone from 60 to 70 a kg to 110 to 140. Raid at Tahsildar residence. Two workers electrocuted in Shumaga. Uncertainty looms large over a rail lane. Upalokaitha orders initiating Suyomoto case asks the police commissioner a question this Friday. Application invited. Online application are invited from eligible candidate for the post of cable operator and the establishment of High Court of Karnataka. Annabhagya cash transfer will bring down implementation costs by 5 to 10%. Cash in lieu rice under this scheme may continue for about 3 months, by which time the gain is expected to be procured. Congress asks the council poll ticket aspirants to deposit 2 lakh. Grahalakshmi application process likely from July 14. Largest drone-based land parcel mapping contract given to two organizations from state. Tapas 201 UAV ready for user trials. DRDO. It's high time bribe giver was made susceptible to prosecution. SC. NIA searches houses of three absconders in DK Kodagu in Dakshina Kannada, Kodagu, and Praveen Nettaru murder case. It seized several electronic gadgets and documents during searches at the houses of Abdul Nasir and Abdul Rahman in Kodagu and Naushad in Dakshina Kannada. All out effort to unlock MSME potential. H declines to quash FIR against Rahul for using KGF 2 song for Yatra. Manifestly arbitrary, clearly unconstitutional. Let's read this editorial page. And in 2015, soon after the Aam Aadmi Party won the Delhi Legislative Assembly elections by a significant margin, the central government issued a notification taking control over services in the National Capital Territory. This sparked an 8 year long legal battle between the Delhi government and the central government, involving four rounds of litigation before the Supreme Court of India. In May 2023, the court ruled decisively in favor of the Delhi government. However, rather than being the hand of the battle, the court's decision turned out to be only another pit stop. Within days, the central government, acting through the President of India, issued an ordinance amending the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act of 1991. Through this ordinance, the central government has sought to undo the court's judgment. It explicitly deprived the Delhi Legislative Assembly from enacting laws pertaining to services within the NCT and instead set up a parallel body comprising the chief minister and two bureaucrats who would be responsible for taking service related decisions with respect to Delhi. In effect, a court case of being handed back. Shorn of legalese and in effect, the Delhi Services Ordinance takes away the control of services from the elected government of Delhi and hands it back to the central government. A close look at the ordinance reveals two justifications offered by the central government. At the level of policy, the central government argues that Delhi's status as the national capital requires a balancing of interest between the elected Delhi government and the government at the center. At the levels of the law, it is argued that Article 239AA of the Constitution, which encodes Delhi's special status, expressly authorities Parliament to pass laws with respect to fields that are normally within the exclusive competence of the states. One of these fields is that of services. Both these arguments, however, miss the mark. In particular, they cannot paper over the major constitutional flaw with the Delhi Services Ordinance. That is, that the ordinance violates and undermines core principles of democracy, representative governance, and a responsive administration. To understand how, let us begin with first principles. Any functioning modern polity requires the performance of a vast range of daily administrative functions which must be coordinated at multiple levels. This task is performed by the body that we colloquially call the services, while elected representatives are responsible for formulating a policy and shaping vision when it comes to crucial issues such as health or education. It is the services that are responsible for implementing both vision and policy in concrete terms. Therefore, the question of who the services are responsible to or why they answer to becomes crucial. In other words, whatever policy or vision that elected legislatures may formulate, whether this is actually implemented and what is actually implemented depends on who the services report to and who has power over mundane issues such as transport postings and enforcing discipline. For this reason, the default position has always been that unless expressly have provided. Otherwise, it is the directly elected government that should have control over services. This ensures that the representatives whom the people elect upon a certain manifesto actually have the ability to implement the policies and promises on the basis of which they have been elected. A chain of accountability, let's make it visible. A chain of accountability, it's a judgment. In its judgment in May 2023, the court explicitly recognized this by formulating the concept of the triple chain of accountability. The triple chain of accountability is integral to representative democracy and proceeds as follows. So, civil servants are accountable to the cabinet. The cabinet is accountable to the legislature. The legislative assembly and the legislative assembly is periodically accountable to the electorate. Any action that serves severs this triple chain of accountability fundamentally undermines the core constitutional principles of representative government, which is at the bedrock of our democracy. The court's idea of the triple chain of accountability is evident in the constitutional provisions relating to the status of Delhi and then demonstrates why the central government's defense of the ordinance cannot stand. Delhi's special status, which flows from it being the capital of the country, is already recognized in Article 239 AA. In many distinct ways, for example, Article 239 AA explicitly deprives Delhi's legislative assembly and by extension the Delhi government from legislating or taking executive action under three fields that are otherwise reserved for the states: public order, land, and the police. In other words, by not giving to the Delhi government what all other state governments enjoy, Article 239 AA already sets out the balance between the interests of the representative governance and the national interest in the national capital. Crucially, and this was a significant factor in the court's judgment, Article 239 AA does not take away services from the purview and jurisdiction of the Delhi Assembly and the Delhi government. In other words, the very structure of Article 239 AA is designed to preserve the triple chain of accountability, where Delhi's bureaucrats shall be accountable to Delhi's government. Delhi's government will be accountable to Delhi legislature, and Delhi's legislature will be accountable to the people of Delhi. The Delhi Services Ordinance, however, severes this triple chain of accountability by taking away the entire category of services from the jurisdiction of the Delhi government and in effect placing it under the control of the central government. Now it is of course true that another feature of the balance that is encoded within Article 239A is that it grants to Parliament to pass laws with respect to Delhi under any of the fields that are otherwise reserved to the states, one of which is services. The purpose of this is to maintain a degree of flexibility while public order, land, and police have been removed from the sphere of the Delhi government entirely. Unforeseeably, circumstances might arise requiring Parliament to pass specific legislation with respect to other fields as well. Furthermore, services taken away. The Delhi Services Ordinance, however, does not do that. Instead of responding to any specific circumstances, assistance, it takes away the Delhi government's power over services wholesale and in all circumstances. In other words, it tries to take for the central government what this constitution expressly denied, exclusive over services. Indeed, notably, the ordinance articulates no specific or concrete reason why it has been enacted, other than the need to balance interest. This, as we have seen, is illogical, as that balancing has already been achieved within the constitution. It can therefore be seen that the Delhi Services Ordinance undermines the principles of representative democracy and responsible governance, which are the pillars of our constitutional order. It is also manifestly arbitrary and as it lacks any determining principle that justifies what is. In effect, a wholesale transfer of power from Delhi to the center. For these reasons, in the opinion of this writer, it is clearly unconstitutional. It only remains to be seeing what the outcome will be when the Supreme Court is approached for the fifth time to adjudicate this seemingly handless battle. This is about the Daily Basis lawyer has written about this. Let's go to the next page. Keep it simple. EPFO must simplify process for members to file higher pension. Played in India. The World Cup is an opportunity for ODIs to regain prominence. Mahalanobis is the era of big data AI. Professor P.C. Mahalanobis, who introduced statistics to India, is a scientist whose absence is felt dearly even today. Mahalanobis' lifelong courtship with the statistics, his unwavering and fearless leadership to advance statistics and survey culture in India. The founding of the Indian Statistical Institute, a mighty monument of his handicraft and his nurturing of a generation of outstanding academicians, have all left behind an enduring legacy. There is little doubt that India was in the Mahalanobis era nearly 5 decades prior to his passing on June 28, 1978. Today, in the midst of the shifting socio-economic dynamics in post-pandemic India, is greatly missed. The age of big data. For the past 20 to 20 years, there has been a global shift in both the nature of data and statistics. With the advent of the internet and virtually everything confined to the internet of things, there has been a flood of data, most of it junk. We now have much more data than what available technology can leverage. This is widely perceived as the era of big data. Another significant health related issue is how artificial intelligence is transforming our lives and lifestyles. The state of society is precarious. One can wonder how Mahalanobis, a statistical doyen and a key figure in the early development of the Indian democracy, would have responded to the big data related craziness and the AI driven revolution. Though speculative, the answer would be based on his legacy. Historically, data often appears to be big when the available technology at the time fails to analyze it. Mahalanobis also encountered a big data problem when his large-scale surveys yielded lots of data that needed to be looked into for effective planning. How did he respond to this? Well, to handle tons of data and tackle the complex mathematical calculations, Mahalanobis persuaded the government and succeeded in procuring the first two digital computers of the country and South Asia, two at his Indian Statistical Institute in 1956 and 1958, and thus ushered in the age of computers in India. It was indeed a remarkable accomplishment by a statistician. Problems during COVID 19. Mahalanobis was a physicist by training, a statistician by instinct, and an economist by conviction. He had an uncanny knack of embracing technology for human well-being. Perhaps as a result of his background in physics, he even built some simple machines to facilitate his surveys and measurements. Thus, one may safely pursue that Mahalanobis would have embraced the power of AI in enhancing human productivity, such as big data analysis, and perhaps in a way that is far more effective than how AI is currently applied to that goal. He could possibly be able to lead big data analysis considerably better than anybody else. Even in the absence of AI, as no one is likely to comprehend the survey dynamics at the heartbeat of data as we did. One recent big data variable, for instance, involved numerous contradictory projections during the COVID 19 era. Different sorts of economic losses due to the pandemic needed to be properly evaluated for a balanced recovery. One could argue that if Mahalanobis was alive today, the country's COVID 19 response could have been much stronger. If he was in the lead, our data might be behind question. and the analysis might be far more accurate. And India's plan man could be the best person for planning to build optimal health related infrastructures for combating future disasters. AI regulation around 7 decades ago, from the perspective of the newly independent nation, planning with the head of extensive technocratic exercises with the democratic participation moved from the realm of politics primarily due to Mahalanobis. Now we are at the crossroads. India's upcoming census will be a digital exercise. The dynamics of other surveys are also bound to change in the new normal setup. That is how statistics is evolving. We would miss the leadership of an expert such as Mahalanobis from this changed statistical perspective. AI, as AI is threatening to replace millions of jobs without creating alternatives, and is also aiding in spreading disinformation. There is a substantial global attempt to clip its wings. Never easy, though Mahalanobis, who was deeply inspired by Kautilya's Arthashastra, successfully introduced the revolutionary concept of built-in cross-checks into his service. As the world struggles to regulate AI, could Mahalanobis, with his statistical instinct, also be instrumental in regulating AI? Maybe. Mahalanobis envisioned statistics as a new technology for increasing the efficiency of human effort in the wildest sense. Even today, someone like Mahalanobis, with an uncanny knack for perfection, tireless dedication, brilliant leadership, and who could understand the dance steps of numbers in the arena of time and speed, space better than anybody else engaged in this business, could be the best person to handle tons of data with its ever expanding nature and also embrace the benefits of technologies for human welfare and national development. This is about the Mahalanobis, the physicist and economist and mathematician. To say he was a scientist. Let's go to the next page. Rankings and the realities of higher education. Suresh Babu is a professor of economics at IIT Madras. Views are personal. VK Pandian, the influential bureaucrat, he has become the target of the opposition as well as sections of the BJD. How much employment generation does the economy need? How many need work? If a policymakers talk of creating work for 5 million to 8 million young in India, that will barely scratch India's unemployment problem. Let's read this article, that is ranking and the realities of higher education. The National Institutional Ranking Framework recently released the India rankings for 2023. This is the eighth consecutive edition of rankings of higher education institutions in five categories. Overall, universities, colleges, research institutions, and innovation, and eight subject domains: engineering, management, pharmacy, medical, dental, law, architecture and planning, and agriculture and allied sectors. The NIRF evaluates institutions on five parameters: teaching, learning and resources, graduation outcome, research and professional practices, outreach and inclusivity, and perception. Ranks are assigned based on the sum of marks secured by institutions on each of these parameters. Notwithstanding some of the criticism on the methodology adopted and the parameters chosen by the Ministry of Education, a scrutiny of the 2022-2023 edition as well as some of the available data on higher education raises some important issues warranting policy attention. Some issues. The first is the issue of participation of institutions. According to the Ministry of Education, in this edition of NIRF, 5,543 institutions have offered themselves for ranking under overall category specific or domain specific ranking. In all, 8,686 applications for ranking were submitted by these institutions. This has to be seen in conjunction with the total number of universities and colleges in India. As per the All India Survey on Higher Education 2021, there were 1,113 universities and 43,796 colleges in 2020 to 2021. This implies that only 12.3% of higher education institutions participated in the ranking process, that there is near to no information on the parameters decided by the NIRF for the remaining 87.7% of higher education institutions is a matter of concern, especially for a nation aspiring to reap rich demographic dividends. This issue gets accentuated further when we examine the rural urban divide in participation. The list of top 100 colleges shown a scant presence of colleges from rural areas. AISHE data show that about 43% of the universities and 61.4% colleges are in rural areas. The lack of participation of institutions from rural areas raises questions on the inherent urban bias of the ranking framework, reinforced by the choice of parameters. The second issue is the incongruence between quantity and quality. Of the top 100 colleges ranked by NIRF, 35 are from Tamil Nadu, 32 from Delhi, 14 from Kerala, and other remaining are from the rest of India. According to AISHE, Uttar Pradesh has the highest number of colleges in the country, followed by Maharashtra and Karnataka. The list of top 100 colleges does not feature a single college from the UP. From UP, it features these three colleges from Maharashtra and two from Karnataka. The fact that 81% of high quality colleges are in three states highlights the need for a mission to improve quality across the country, with both the union government and the states and earmarking substantial funds in their respective budgets for this. Quality differences are evident between private and government institutions as well. In the overall rankings, the highest rank secured by a private institution is 50. In the university rankings, the highest rank is secured by a private institution is 6. There is also tremendous scope for many more state universities to figure in this list. If the quality of state universities is enhanced, it would also serve the purpose of serving students in rural locations. The third issue seems stems from the close correlation between faculty strength and rankings. A comparison between the top 100 and remaining institutions shows vast differences in this regard. The average number of faculty in the top 100 universities is 645, while for the remaining universities it is only 242. In the case of colleges, it is 173 for colleges in the top 100 list and 71 for the remaining institutes. Needless to say, a quality education cannot be provided with brick and mortar alone. Even in the case of engineering, where the ranking is often advertised by the institutions, only 33.98% added to the AICTE prescribed faculty student ratio of 1 is to 2. Scientific publications. Faculty strength and quality also get reflected in scientific publications. 87.1% of the scholarly output from India comes from eligible institutions in the overall category. This means that 12.3% of the institutions which have participated in the ranking contribute close to 9.90% of the scholarly output in the country. This is even more startling in the case of engineering, where 99.98% of total scientific publications came from the institutions participating in the rankings. Interestingly, in management, 50% of the institutions which applied for being included in the rankings had zero publications. The rankings underscore the urgent need for quality enhancement in the higher education system. This requires substantial financial resources. India's share in the overall world scientific publications is about 4.81%. In comparison, China's share of world publication increased from 5% in 2000 to 26% in 2018. This was facilitated by massive research investments by the Chinese government between 2000 and 2017. As per an article by Shumin Q, Claudia Steve Wender, and Fire Ajola in the LSE Impact blog, the number of Chinese universities increased by 140%. Research faculty increased by 69%, and public research funding increased tenfold. If rankings are to serve the purpose of being an input for informed evidence-based policy decisions, then budgetary outlays for higher education needs a quantum jump in India. This is about the education institutional rankings, which has been given by NIRF every year. It will be so as for the report has been the article has been written. VK Pondian, the implementation bureaucrat, he has become the target of the opposition as well as sections of the BJD. How much employment generation does the economy need? High policymakers talk of creating work for 5 million to 8 million young in India. That will barely scratch India's unemployment problem. Park wants early repatriation of EU beam army chief. Ajad shot at by unidentified persons in UP. His condition stable. He suffers injury when a bullet grazed his abdomen. Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav alleges that the attack was carried out by criminals protected by the BJP government in the state. Chandrasekhar Azad, after his convoy was attacked by armed men in Sharanpur on Wednesday. SC Collegium gets a makeover with two new judges joining. Surge prices shows inflation far from tamed. AP Hop Shiv Sena hint at banking UCC. Congress says it cannot be a forced decision. Months before Assembly poll, T.S. Sang Singh Dio made Chhattisgarh's deputy CM. Karnataka set to give cash in life free rice. The nation is divided today owing to the words and deeds of the BJP. Yes, UCC imposed on the people will only widen the divisions. Biofertilizer scheme gets government green light. Contingents from India to attend Bastille Day fired. Tribal safety concerns lead to many 0 5 fires in Manipur. Cookies allege police bias. Manipur HC panel to check if internet can be restored. PM's visit to US was the most productive ever. Jaishankar, India-US relationship is doing exceptionally well, says External Affairs Minister. Modi says he is seen by the international community as an authentic Indian who actually speaks for India. I think we were in a state when we are trying to really to address the obstacles of the relationship. Today we have moved into the positive domain. FIR registered against Amit Malavia. BJP questions Rao's links. Congress seeks transparency in a predator drone deal. Cloud over identities of 81 victims of train accident in Balasur. India used can join hands to boost security stability. Let's go to the next page. Some Muslim families return to Prola, others sell their homes. A furniture shop once owned by the accused who allegedly tried to abduct a girl at the market in Purola town in Uttarakhand. Sunak are looking for ambitious trade deal with India. Central plans market scheme to promote a sustainable living. It aims at incentivizing a host of activities such as afforestation, water conservation, and waste management by generating green credits. Cabinet clears an RF bill to offer strategic direction to research. And out once against online promotion of organ trade. No ID praise allowed at Srinagar Idgah on June 29. Veteran artists to get monthly disposal, Culture Ministry. Either the test of faith. New Zealand Prime Minister scores trade deals on China trip. Sweden grants permit for Quran burning protest outside mosque. Recovery operation of Titan hands debris hard Ashur and Canada. Myanmar junta air strikes killed 10 civilians, damaged 11 houses. Days after Black Saturday, Russians take stock. Putin moves into assert the state authority and issues a clear message that Wagner is no longer a favorite. Wagner forces get three choices: sign up with the defense ministry, return home, or move to Belarus. Political analysts say the whole crisis exposed cracks in the statehood. Ordinary Russians heave a sigh of relief as bloodshed was averted. Nine killed as Russian missile hits Kiev Pijeria. Nepal Supreme Court orders government to register same-sex marriages. Teenagers shot dead by police in France. Macron calls it unforgivable. Indian economy resilient despite global risks. RBI. India's financial system has been stable and resilient despite the significant strains in the West. RBI's governor said non-performing assets of Indian banks fell to a 10-year low of 3.9% in March 2023. FII's narrow CAD helped lift Sensex to record 63,950. BBCL gets board note for 18,000 crore rights issue. Guinea Filaments develops wipes from recycled fiber. GoPust avoids the DGCA approval for takeoff. Public issues SEBI to have time for listing shares to 3 days. Germany's Skipler boosts India capacity. Sugar mills expand ethanol capacity. Smith had lead the way for Australia. Sports page, guys. I think this is a little bit the international news of sports events are very important for the front of examination. At least note the international events which were had in the past. Smith's second fastest to 9,000 test runs after Sangakkara just stop while protesters disrupt opening day's play at Lords. Bumrah bowling 5 to 7 overs a day. NCA sources: Bangladesh takes on Kuwait, India to clash with Lebanon. Carlson outwits Anand, takes Warriors to the stop. Shuri Sindhu joined process to deflate a northeast zone. Manipur players shut out the trouble at home. Focus on game. Muraz Singh, a masterclass, gives East opening days honors. Will AIFF rein in Timac after its run-ins with references on the sidelines? Shaji Prabhakaran, the AIFF Secretary General, refuses to comment and says the matter will be dealt with internally. Pitova withdraws from Eastbourne International. India continues winning run in Asian Kabaddi Ship Championship. Alkharaj and Swiatek get top billing at the championship. Yuki Harris duo enters last four. Man City completes signing of Kosis from Chelsea. Duplantis soars to world leading outdoor mark of 6.12 meter this season. Australian Cummings signs contract with Mohan Bagan. How the Aika and Sudhita Fair conquered Tunis. They reaped rich rewards after training hard for more than 2 months under the watchful eyes of former national champions and the husband-wife combination of Soumya Deep and Polami in Kolkata head of the tournament. Technology helps engage fans and sustain the growth of sports. Siddharth Raman. A chess revolution has begun in India, courtesy Anand Carlson. What cricket can teach us about the mind's experience of time? Unlike most sports where matches are over quickly, test cricket requires abstract, long-term, targeted behavior, something people actually do not do on a daily basis. In this sense, the players in the Ashes series can teach us something about how the mind responds to time. Euclid set to launch next week in a quest for dark energy. The unlikely mysteries of the color blue. At CEC camp in Bangalore, science is discussed with a sweet touch, an informal platform to learn more about the translational possibilities of research. Sugar Rush with the science has been acting as a bridge between academia and industry. Sugar Rush sees two speakers giving two different perspectives on the same topic. Attending such sessions and listening to both sides of a common topic gives on one a large perspective on the topic. Bangalore activists bat for missing rainbow hues in parliament. Campaign has been launched in Bangalore for political representation for LGBTQIA community in state legislative assemblies and councils. If they wanted to discuss how our rights at the parliament, they should not our people be inside the parliament. Music for all moods, from Kayan's potentially high energy DJ set to Arabic informed prog jazz fusion from Anmo Noon. Here are some opinion options for the weekend. Savo a Turkish veg menu. Nanu Kusuma captures the eternal struggle of a woman, a day with artists and their art. Text and context. Critical minerals listed by India government in fish for clean energy. World Bank to fund power sector reforms in Arunachal. The responses are for UCC received by the Law Commission. Cost of incentive schemes for green hydrogen production. The decadal best fall of non-performing assets in March. Changing economy of rural West Bengal, the decrease of employment in agricultural and manufacturing sectors, and a subsequent increase in construction and services sectors, along with the inclusion of the now rich clause in electoral politics, are bound to affect the upcoming panchayat elections in the state. Savarkar did not consider Hindutva as the equivalent of Hinduism. The resurrection of Savarkar may be complete, but in the recent birthday celebrations that coincided with the inauguration of the new parliament building, his followers forget the centenary of his foundational text Essentials of Hindutva. This is about the text and context, which I hope for some point of time it's important. So I hope you guys are reading the newspaper and making you better in communications. If you guys have any doubts or queries, you guys can leave the comment in the comment box so that I can help you out with the resolutions and very good tips to make you better in communication. Please subscribe the channel, like and comment for more videos related to education, healthcare, and personal and cues, especially about the teachers, the great teachers. See you in the upcoming videos, guys. Have a great bye bye. Take care.